Thank you for taking a few minutes to look at Gravity's new bank transaction matching screen. We've learned from our users that working with their financial institutions, bank accounts and credit cards, to work with that data and bring it into their accounting system in an easy and efficient manner to allow the creation of transactions and or bank reconciliations is more important than ever to keep your accounting records up to date and also do it in an efficient manner. And we've created our new bank matching screen. And let's take a look at that screen. So here we'll see the account I'm working with inside of Gravity, and if I'm doing a reconciliation, the status of that reconciliation, and I can turn that off and just work with a credit card, for example, and make transactions. If I'm doing the reconciliation, I have all that data here available, and I can easily see here that it'll be 0 when I'm done and everything's reconciled. In this grid, I have all my transactions that have come in from the financial institution, and I can toggle if I want to look at those transactions that relate in Gravity to see how we're doing with that matching. Filters on the left to be able to look at items that are, let's say, being investigated right now, and we'll come back to that. And actions here that I can work with the data here. So let's start the process. I'm going to start with an auto match. And what an auto match will do is take the transactions that I've downloaded and look for those transactions in Gravity that will match based on the amount and the relative dates between the transactions. So you'll see a handful of transactions that I can look at here. If I'm happy with those, I can hit approve, and they will be considered reconciled in Gravity and be taken off my menu so that I don't have to work with them again. We'll go back to the unmatched transactions again, and let's say I have a transaction here that I no longer need because I may have manually reconciled it. So I can just take it off the screen by hitting ignore. Or I could do several and hit ignore here and get rid of a whole bunch that may have not be needed anymore for reconciliation purposes. But now let's look at using something called rules. So rules allow me to go out here and say, I have a bank charge, and it will make a transaction from this bank transaction. And what we'll do is, based on the type of transaction we want it to make, it could be a journal entry, it could be running through the payables or receivables system. It just depends on the type of transaction. When you create a rule, you can determine what type of transaction you want to create with that rule. And rules can auto-apply. I can say, anytime it has certain words in here, certain amounts, automatically apply this rule. So when I open the screen up, I can go to the applied rules area, and I would see all those rules that have already been applied. We'll just do a couple like that. So if I come in here and I go applied rules, now all I have to do is click on the ones I want to process and hit process, and we'll make transactions out of those based upon the rules that were created. So we can auto match to start, we can use rules to go in here and make transactions. We can even try to manually match if we know, for example, that this should be in our system. Well, maybe on this I remember making 2 separate transactions with it. So we'll put the first transaction that we want to look for in here, and that was $2,000, and we'll put that in the holding box here. Now the second transaction here that I know we made was for $382.11, like that, and we'll add that to the list. So what I'm doing is taking 2 Gravity transactions and matching it to 1 bank transaction. Now where this becomes helpful is something like a deposit. I may have 2 or 3 transactions in Gravity that got grouped into 1 deposit ticket in the bank, and I want to be able to match those up. So I can do that if I need to, just like this. And I would hit OK, and then these 2 transactions would be considered reconciled to this bank transaction here. But now maybe I've done all that and I still need to create a few transactions. So let's go out here to this tax amount, and maybe I want to create a journal entry out of that, or I want to create a quick bill and run it through my payable system, but we'll just do a journal entry. So we've got the description as it came in, we have the dates that came in from the bank activity, we know today's date and the date of the activity, and let's go out here and maybe we can just quickly add a tax account like that. It'll go find it, and we'll say prepaid taxes, and I'll hit create transaction. So in a matter of 30 or 40 seconds, I've actually brought the transaction up, I've determined what it is, added any accounting information, hit create transaction, and I'm on to the next one. So the goal here with this is to be able to efficiently use the electronic data that's coming in from your bank, either again, bank account or credit card, and make transactions in Gravity, match transactions with those that are already in Gravity, and complete that bank reconciliation or account for all that credit card activity. So we've given you just a quick look at the new bank matching screen, and we've had several beta users of it who have helped us to add and hone the features here, and we're very happy to present that now. Thank you very much.